AI has really taken academia by storm, and that's why in this video I want to go over 5 crazy good AI tools to automate your literature review. And if you use these tools, you'll be able to find more relevant text faster. You'll be able to read relevant literature much faster. You'll also be able to understand the literature much better. You'll be able to find research gaps faster. You'll be able to structure your literature review better as well. So there's so many things that AI can do for you ethically. I want to highlight, because it's that we're going to use those AI tools completely ethically, that you really want to jump on the AI train as soon as possible, because otherwise you're really missing out. If you're new here, my name is Marek Kiczkowiak and I run Academic English Now, where we help PhD students and researchers write and publish research papers in top Scopus Index journals. So in this video, I want to go over 5 crazy good AI tools that will allow you to automate your literature review. And I've used these tools myself, and we really recommend these tools to our clients on Published Researcher program as well. And we've seen amazing results with these tools. So I think you will really like them, and they will really allow you to do a much better review much faster. So the first tool that I want to talk about is called SciSpace. SciSpace is a great tool that allows you, first of all, to very quickly find relevant literature. And rather than fiddle around with keywords, what it does is give you literature on a specific question. So I'm going to just use one of the questions suggested in here, but obviously you want to use a research question, or your research question, or a question that's kind of relevant to your literature review, okay? And what you're going to get in here, first of all, is insights. So this gives you, a synthesis of the top 10 papers. You can also limit it to 5 papers if you want a shorter synthesis. And then what you're going to get is the papers themselves in here. If you continue scrolling down, it's going to fetch more and more papers for you, right? What you then can do with them is to add columns in here. So we've got methods used as a default. Depending on what you're focusing on in the literature review, maybe you will want to have findings, maybe you will want to have, let's say the data sets, maybe you want to zoom in on let's say the limitations of those papers, okay? Just giving you examples here. Obviously you want to choose the columns that are relevant to your specific purpose in the literature review. But then the great thing is that you're going to get bullet points, summaries of these of these sections. So just at a glance, you can just really quickly see, what these papers did, what were the findings, what were the methods used, and stuff like this, right? I've checked it, and SciSpace is pretty accurate. It doesn't invent things like ChatGPT does. It's really accurate with this kind of stuff. So this really allows you to speed up your work so much. And then, of course, you can open one of these papers in here, okay? And then you can chat with that paper further and ask SciSpace questions about that particular paper, okay? But when we are on the papers here, you can also chat kind of with all the papers as well in here, and ask SciSpace questions about all these papers that are loaded here. Another strategy that I really like is to upload your own PDFs to the library, because AI is only accurate if it can actually read the PDF. So because some papers are logged behind a paywall, then AI cannot really read them. So the best thing to do is to upload your own papers that you already have. You can upload PDFs in here if you just click on this button. What you can also do is connect Zotero. So you can just import them from Zotero as well. Okay, and it will prompt you to connect Zotero. I've already done it, so I can just import any papers that I've got in my Zotero library. But then once you've got these papers, what you can do in here is just to select all the papers, or 10 papers, or however many papers you want to kind of analyze, and then chat with AI about these papers. So let's say you could ask, what are Right? What are the practical implications of these studies? Well, whatever question you're kind of focusing on in your literature review, you can ask AI this, and because these are PDFs, you can be pretty sure that the answers that AI is giving you are good, because it's going to be analyzing the papers selected in here. Okay, so that's another thing that you can do. And obviously, as I mentioned, you can also read single PDFs that you upload them here. And again, I would suggest that you upload PDFs that you already have for more accurate answers. And then you can chat with this document. You can also get AI to explain tables and figures, equations. So this is a really awesome tool that speeds up your writing a lot. And I should also mention that you can save all these answers to the notebook. Okay, so if you click here, you can have a notebook with your notes, and then you can open the AI writer tool and then start rewriting those notes to make them better. You can build an outline, for example, write an introduction, write conclusion, and so on, right? So it's kind of like an all-in-one tool that also has a text editor. So all in all, I think SciSpace is a fantastic tool to automate your literature review, and the link to use SciSpace is in the description to this video. It's free to start with. However, if you want to use it on a regular basis, you will need the paid version. But if you use the Academic English Now coupon code below, you can get a 40% discount on the paid plan. The next tool that I want to talk about for automating your literature review is AvidNote. The link again to sign up is in the description. It's a free tool to start with, just like SciSpace. And if you're just going to use it once in every blue moon, you don't really need the paid version. But if you're planning to upload lots of papers, and if you're planning to read those, to use AI to actually read those papers, then you definitely need the paid version, because you're going to run out of AI kind of inputs. So what you can do is, you need to upload papers in here, so it doesn't work like a search engine like SciSpace does. You actually need to have the papers in PDF first, and then you upload them to your library. And then once you've got those PDFs in your library, you can chat with the document. Okay, so what you can do, you've got generic document questions in here that you can ask. For example, what is the methodology of that paper? And then AvidNote is going to give you the methodology. And because it's actually reading the PDF, this is very, very accurate. It's not going to invent any information or anything like it, because it actually can read the PDF that you gave it. And then you've got generic document questions in here, but you also have specific document questions. I think this is a great feature that SciSpace doesn't have, that can help you to further understand that text and just interact with the text more easily, right? For example, what is the intercultural dimension in language teaching? That's kind of like the topic of this paper. So we can put that question here, and AvidNote is instantly going to give us an answer to this. And then what you can also do is just type in your own questions in here, whatever questions you want, like what are the limitations? And then AvidNote is going to give you the answer to it. And then another great feature that AvidNote has is the writing option. So what you can do is you can go to write in here, and then AI snippets, and you've got write here. You can write a literature review. And what you can do is, describe the study in a lot of detail, and AvidNote is going to return a text for you. What you can also do is ask AvidNote to give you the structure of that text, to generate an outline for a literature review. So this really helps you to speed up the whole process. That's tool number 2, and the link to sign up on AvidNote and the coupon code is right below this video. The next awesome tool for automating your literature review that I want to talk about is Consensus. What Consensus does is kind of like a academic search engine on steroids, a modern academic search engine where you can put in the questions that you're currently working on, and you're going to get summaries of research, snippets of papers, highlights of research, and you'll immediately be able to see what each study was about, whether there is research consensus or not. So let me give you an example in here. It just gives you questions in here. So we're going to go for this question. What are the benefits of mindfulness? Okay. And then what you will get here is a summary of the top papers analyzed. So that's great for kind of immediately synthesizing the literature. And then you have a more detailed summary in here with references to particular papers. So this is also really good, you know, for example, when you're just getting started on the literature review and you don't know much about what the literature actually says on a particular topic. Well, at a glance in here, you've got insights from the top 10 papers divided into bullet points, headings. It's really easy to digest. Another great feature of consensus is, you know, the little kind of additional information that it gives you about the paper. For example, straight away you get the type of the paper, and if you don't know what RCT means, well, it gives you a definition. RCT is a randomized controlled trial. Okay, you know, non-RCT trial here, meta-analysis, for example. Okay, so it gives you a lot of cool information. It also shows you whether a paper is highly cited, and it gives you the number of citation here straight away. So I know that you could get this information, but you would have to search for it. With consensus, you just get it at your fingertips straight away, which I think is awesome. You get information about the journal as well. So for example, this is a rigorous journal ranked in the top 50% of journals measured by SciScore. Okay, so this is super useful. And what you can do as well is go to study snapshot, and it's going to give you sort of information about population, sample size, methods, and outcome, which again is great, and you could find that information yourself by reading the paper, but why would you waste your time and effort if you can just get it here? So this really speeds up the process, because imagine, you know, you just want to look at papers that have a certain sample size, or that are RCTs, or are just in highly cited journals and things like that. So you can have this information straight away. You can save papers to your library, and what you can also do is save the search, which is an awesome feature, because like with normal academic search engines, what you have to do is search again in 2 weeks and hope you're going to get the same results. But in here, you just click on this save button, and you can even create lists. Okay, so you can have a list for the current research paper that you're writing and just have your saved searches. And the awesome thing about it is that when you go back to that search, then you're always going to get the same results, right? So you can quickly kind of remind yourself what papers I found, okay? And you don't have to do anything, so it just speeds up the process enormously. And then, you know, the real power as well of consensus lies in the consensus meter, which basically, if you ask consensus a yes or no question, it's going to give you the consensus meter, which is whether researchers agree or disagree on a specific issue. In here, you can see that, you know, it's pretty much everybody agrees on it, right? But there will be other questions that you'll ask where you're going to have a more even split with, like, you know, 60% papers saying yes, 40% of papers saying no. Okay, so this allows you to kind of find research gaps faster and, you know, find more specific papers. So that's tool number 3, consensus. All in all, I think it's an amazing tool to automate your literature review. Another great tool that I want to talk about is Jenni AI. Jenni AI is not a search engine, okay? It doesn't allow you to find literature or read it, but what it's really good at is the writing aspect, and it also has an awesome AI chat. So let me quickly go over how you can use Jenni. So when you start, when you have a new document, okay, you can go to AI chat and, for example, ask Jenni to prepare an outline for you. So you want to make the prompt as detailed as possible. The one that I'm giving you here is pretty generic, but you want to add also things like, maybe the length of the chapter. Is it a chapter or a review paper that you're writing? And what is the exact specific topic? And any subtopics that you would like Jenni to include. The more specific the prompts, the better answer you're going to get. And there you go. You've got the outline in here, with the main sections and then some subsections. Okay. And then you could just add it to your document with one click. Okay. So you will just get the outline here straight away. And then what you can do is, for example, the first bullet point is briefly define mindfulness and its origins. So what you can do is just type it in here, put it here. Okay. And then just send it to Jenni. And then Jenni will give you a definition of mindfulness and the origins of mindfulness. And then, if you're happy with that text, well, you can just, let's put the cursor in here, okay? And then we're going to add it to our text, just right here, add to document, okay? And then we've got it here. Now, I need to really highlight that you cannot just copy and paste it and then put it in your thesis or research paper, because that's going to be plagiarism and it's going to be detected by AI detectors. But what it really does is speed up your initial kind of thinking process. If you're stuck trying to prepare the outline of your literature review, you cannot find a definition of a particular concept and so on, this is a really good chatting partner. Just think of Jenni as a really knowledgeable colleague who you can chat to 24/7 and gives you answers within seconds. That's how Jenni works. And like with answers from a colleague that you might get in your department, you need to sift those answers through your brain and use your research knowledge to see if they're accurate. And then you need to write them yourself. But I think this just speeds up the process so much. I mean, think how long it would take you to generate an outline of a literature review chapter. It would take you a very long time, weeks probably, right? You've done it, you've got the first version of the outline in a few seconds. So that's tool number 4, Jenni. And if you want to sign up on Jenni, the link is in the description. It's a free tool to start with, but if you're going to use it on a regular basis, like with the other AI tools, you will need a subscription. But if you use Marek 20 code, you'll get a 20% discount on any new Jenni accounts. The 5th amazing AI tool for automating your literature review that I want to talk about is ResearchRabbit. And ResearchRabbit is completely free. There are no paid plans at all at the moment of recording this video. I imagine there will be a paid plan at some point. I don't know how otherwise they will finance the tool. But if you jump right in, there are no paid plans or paid features. It's all completely free. So what this tool is really good at is, number one, visualizing papers and connections between papers. It creates literature review maps. The fastest way to do it is to import a Zotero collection in here. So you will have to first of all connect Zotero and ResearchRabbit, which is pretty easy, and then you just sync one of your collections from here. You can also upload papers to ResearchRabbit, so you don't necessarily need to connect with Zotero. And then once you've got a collection of papers, right, and you can see here you can add papers as well. You can upload file, BibTeX, and so on. Once you've got it, what you can do is connections. Click to show. And this shows you the connections between papers. So it shows you a map. And I think this is revolutionary, really. And I'm not exaggerating with this word, because, most of the time when you're finding papers, reading papers, you cannot see what the connections are. And this helps so much to really visualize what's going on in the field, which paper connects to which paper, what are the connections, right? And what you can also do is then further explore papers. Like, let's say we're going to explore later work, okay? And again, we can see connections. So in green, you're going to see the papers that are in my collection, whereas the blue dots are the ones that are not in my collection yet. And I could also zoom in to see kind of what's really going on here. And I think this is just awesome, because it really helps you to see which papers connect to which, who are the most prominent authors, and so on. And then of course, you can click on any of those papers. You can see the abstract in here as well, and you could add those papers to your collections in here. Okay, or to any other collection. And then you can see the references of that paper and again see the connections of the references. Okay, so it's really, really awesome. You can also see it on a timeline. So this is really useful if you're doing, a historical overview of a particular topic. So you can see visually on a timeline what has been going on in a particular research field. And you can also do the same thing with authors. So not just papers, but you can also see connections between different authors. So that's it. These are 5, I think, really revolutionary AI tools that are going to help you really automate your literature review. And if you're interested in publishing research papers in top Scopus Index journals and you want to work with me and my team to give you support to do this, then book a free one-to-one consultation. The link is right below this video. We'll jump on a one-to-one call with you, identify what your specific challenges and goals are, and then come up with a personalized plan to really help you to achieve your academic goals.